Last week, I went exploring outside Jedi Fallen Order's combat arena maps to show you guys some rare hidden details and Easter eggs you'd probably never seen before. We got up close to the giant Darth Vader statue, went and explored this ancient temple, and found lots more I really wasn't expecting to see. But I only explored the first 6 arenas in that video, so today I'm going to take you through the other 6. And although there's no giant-sized Darth Vader, there were some other mysterious details I was surprised to discover. Some stuff you wouldn't see unless you went outside the map. And yes, we're playing as a Jedi Rodian today, because Rodians are the best. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Like all the other Out of Bounds videos I've made in Jedi Fallen Order, we're using the flying glitch to get outside the map boundaries. This is done by repeatedly pressing the jump and force slow buttons. I've gotten quite used to doing this over the past few months. Just like I've gotten used to my Ridge wallet. Oh boy. I love these wallets. I got mine about a year ago and it actually changed my wallet life. Its sleek design means you only carry what you need, not carrying around any random cards and receipts. Much nicer to carry in your pocket, much smaller. My one is this burnt titanium model, which I think looks really cool, and I got the black carbon fiber one from my dad for Father's Day this year. Great for yourself or as a gift. Go to ridge.com/bombastic and use the code bombastic to get 10% off with free shipping. Details in the description. So this is the Y-Shock Den on Kashyyyk, and if you don't know what a Y-Shock is, it's these guys. If you have arachnophobia, I'd recommend you skip ahead about 15 seconds because you're not going to want to see what I show you next. These giant spiders. You can get up close and personal with this giant spider here. This one is even bigger than the regular giant spiders you face in the story you have to fight against. And you can't touch or stand on the spider in any way, thank goodness. But you can get close enough to see the hairs on its back, which is kind of creepy. Okay, but enough about spiders. Even just going and being close to these, I was struggling. It was really hard filming this and feeling like I'm this close to a giant spider. But just behind the spider, there's a few of these platforms which you can't stand on. They're just textures. There's a lot of stuff like this. Probably going to skim over a lot of that. And if we go up a bit higher to the wall here, you can see this light plant or moss. This is kind of all over the walls in this map, and I'm not really sure what it's called or what it actually is. And over on this side of the map, there's a bright shining light coming from the outside. I'm assuming this is the sun, and you can actually get fully drenched in its light. But it's what's behind the light that I was really surprised about. There's a giant bat, which is just a grey render. It's not fully detailed. This is the Mycal, those bat creatures you face on Kashyyyk, although they're much smaller than this one. And it looks like this was just left here as an unused asset. This is probably going to be part of the scenery of this map before they change the design, placing a cave wall in front of it. Now, there's also bright light coming in from the top of the arena, so I wanted to take the Rodian up there and see if we could get outside and beyond the light. And when I got into the actual light, my screen turned completely white, and then we were able to get past it, but there was nothing here, so I dropped back down to the map to practice my lightsaber skills with Darth Vader, my Jedi Rodian lightsaber skills. Okay, this is the Tomb of Miktrull. If you guys remember the candle lantern puzzle from the story, this is where it is, this tomb. And there's actually a few references to it I'll show you in a bit, but this tomb is actually kind of like a stadium. All the Zepho statues are looking down on the arena, which is actually a platform suspended by giant chains from the ceiling. It's just hanging there, which I think is quite stunning. I love the design of this tomb. I love the fact it's just hanging there. You can actually stand on some of the Zepho statues, and if we go over here, you can see giant versions of the lantern you'd use to solve this tomb puzzle, which I think is probably the hardest puzzle in the game. There are actually several different ways of solving it, one correct way, and I think all the others were kind of just makeshift ways. And you can see some of the Zepho are actually holding the lanterns. There's this bigger Zepho here, the giant Zepho, which I went all the way up to the top of to discover you can't stand up here. All I want is to be able to stand on the statue and look out over the arena. So I thought I'd make my way over to the stained glass windows, and once I got close, I realized they're actually a lot bigger than you think. Lower detail though, and this is what the entire arena map looks like from far away. And you also can't touch the hanging piece over the top of the arena. You use this in the lantern puzzle. It's just hanging there in this, and it doesn't move. This is the Tomb of Ilram. This tomb is also on Zepho, and is the one where you solve the ball puzzle. And the first thing I noticed when starting to explore here is the sound. you can constantly hear wind chimes. When I got a little closer and higher up, I realized it was these things. They're just constantly spinning around. And you can also get up close to these hanging cylinders, which look like they're from the inside of a grandfather clock. And above this arena is a giant circular opening, which I was hoping we could get out of through the light. But once I got to the ceiling up here, couldn't go any further. I actually hit the ceiling. And as is always the case, you can't stand on top of the giant Zepho statue, the one that creepily looks down on the map, just got his big eyes gazing on me as I interact with my old friend. He's always watching. He's always just there. Okay, this is the Shadowlands map set on Kashyyyk, and this is possibly one of the biggest maps out of all the Combat Challenges arenas, based on what's outside the arena. But first of all, let's take a look at the crashed LAAT, left over from the Clone Wars, just hanging in this tree. KISSLAAT. I love all the details in these maps, love seeing the aftermath of the war and the wreckage it's left. You can't touch or stand on or fly the LAAT, unfortunately, it's probably a little too late for that. There's also these Wookiee huts, which you can't actually stand in, you can't stand on the platform, and this one you can't even get inside of. So I went up to the top of the tree to look out over the map, and you can see the refinery structure way out in the distance, so let's go for a visit. But first, I went out to these small floating islands, found some of those flowers which follow you if you get too close in the story. They turn into moving vines that deal damage. Okay, and we're off to the Imperial Refinery. Now, the one that's closer to the map, connected by all these pipes, you can't go inside of or stand on. But I'm pretty sure this is the same structure you explore in the story. They've just placed the outside model here. And way off in the distance, there's two more of these. So I thought I'd go visit at least one of them, which took me about 10 minutes of using the flying glitch to get to. It's a long way out here. And this one is similar. You can see the basic structure and the actual mission area from the campaign, but it's a slightly different area of the mission area. And this is also the one with those giant orange basins of oil. I'm assuming it's oil anyway. So naturally, I thought I'd go for a swim. But you can't swim in the orange. You just, fall straight through. And back closer to the map, there's also this other Wookiee hut which you can get inside of, but up above it, I was able to get the Rodian to hover and just kind of do his thing, using the moves he learned in the cantina. So let's head to Dathomir and enter the Tomb of Kujet. This is the one in which you eventually face my favorite Jedi Fallen Order character, the shirtless exile Taron Malicos. But he wasn't here this time around. Vader was here instead. And this is probably one of the more detailed arenas. There's a lot going on here and a lot to explore. The floor here looks incredible, covered in tree roots and red light. They're probably not tree roots though, they're just roots of some kind, some evil magic roots. You've got this giant doorway and platform, the entry to the tomb, and just over to the left is something I haven't noticed before on this map. Gorgara, that giant chirodactyl bat creature you defeat during the story. And you can get up really close and look right into her eyes. I mean like right in there. You can get right in there. Now also all around the arena are the Zepho, but they all look like they're in agony or dying or are experiencing some event which they'll remember for the rest of their lives if they survive this. The Zepho sage Kujet, whom this tomb is named after, staged a massacre in the halls of the palace, and that's what you're seeing here. And these guys are starting to remind me of the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, just scary statues. But what's really interesting is that all the Zepho are pointed towards this one Zepho here. This, I think, is Kujet, and between his hands is an astrium. This is what Cal is searching for in the story on Dathomir, and is the object or key that opens the temple on Bogano once he recovers it. Still not much is known about the ancient Zepho species, but their culture and history I think is fascinating. There's also another Zepho by the giant entrance door, kneeling in agony as Kujet unveils his wrath. Kujet actually ordered the destruction of all astriums, and the one you see between his hands is one of the last ones around, the last one surviving. And like I said, not much is known about the Zepho, but I'm pretty sure they used these astriums to help them control the Force in some way. Certain Zepho were Force sensitive and were capable of using the Force, although in a different way to the Jedi. Okay, this is the Venator crash arena on Zepho, which brings to life the moment this giant Star Destroyer actually crashed into the planet, destroying a local Zepho village. this would have happened during the Clone Wars. You can get up close to all the sparks and explosions resulting from the Star Destroyer's crash, and I think it's impressive seeing just how big the Star Destroyer actually is. It's crazy big. Climbing my way up here, you can see its turrets, its bridge, and looking back down, just how much destruction it actually caused. I think it's really awesome seeing this moment reimagined, because we of course have this crashed Venator site in the story, which has been taken over by the Empire. You can also get up close to the Zeffo village, and there's a giant Zeffo statue off in the distance. Interesting seeing the Zeffo's face in such good light and so big. I don't think we've ever really got a good look at this before. They're always in a vision or have special effects placed over the top of them, and you just can't really make them out. So there you go. That's all the combat arenas explored. If there's a detail I missed, or something you want to see me explore or take a look at next, let me know in the comments. You can watch the last exploration video here, along with another Fallen Order video, and don't forget to check out the Ridge wallets, thanks to them for sponsoring this video, and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord for more Star Wars gaming, details you missed, and everything else. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew, I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.